Yeah, I think we're like looking back on reflection. I suppose we're kind of disappointed. I suppose the players were a little too. When you look at their kind of body language coming off compared to Kerry, they felt they left it slip a bit. But that these things happen as well. Unfortunately, no one is happy about it from Cork, obviously. So it's just a stage where they just have to go in and do it all over again.
Yeah, in terms of the game itself last Sunday, Dinny, Kerry got a great start, obviously, as we know. But just reading Darragh O'Shea in the Irish Times there, he's suggesting that Kerry actually took their foot off the gas, whereas it looked to me like it was more of a case of Cork just settling into the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think like if you look at it from both sides, I mean, they are kind of saying the same. I met Darragh and Mikey Sheehan, a few guys after, and they were saying they took their foot off the gas, and we were kind of saying we took our foot off the gas. So it's kind of periods that both teams probably did it, you know what I mean, which would be the fair thing of it. I mean, we certainly didn't play for the first 12 minutes, and we kind of faded over it in the last quarter of an hour. But they have other periods that they can discuss as well. So it's like after saying all that, I suppose it's still up for grabs, But I think home advantage must be a plus to us,
Absolutely, yeah, and I think one of the main talking points from the punditry on RTE after the game on Sunday, Dinny, was that Pat Spillane was making the point that the Cork forwards it didn't really seem capable of winning the dirty ball. Would you go along with that?
I don't think so. I mean, Pat does that to churn it up anyhow, which is fair enough. That's his job probably to do that. But I wouldn't agree with that. I mean, I thought that like Galvin certainly picked up a lot of ball in the middle of the field, from breaking ball, whereas the rest of the Kerry fellas weren't doing it. I mean, their midfielders were played very poorly, but Galvin did pick up a bit of breaking ball, so it kind of starved us of the ball really. As such, we weren't getting enough ball in for the last quarter of an hour, and it is more so that than just winning the dirty ball, as Pat says. I feel anyhow.
Yeah. And how frustrated and angry do you think Conor Coonan will be, though, looking back? I mean, I'm sure he was disappointed in the dressing room afterwards. We spoke to Conor afterwards, and as always, he was quite laid back and calm, but surely he must have been very disappointed.
Well, he's a very even-tempered fella. When you played with Conor, you'd win a match, and he wouldn't be euphoric. But when we lost the match, he wouldn't be down in the dumps either. So, he's very even-tempered in that way, and I would assume that he's the same way. Certainly, he felt a bit disappointed coming off, but he wouldn't be down in the doldrums that much either. And he'd bounce back as much, because the manager has to bounce back, because the players will be looking for his attitude to it, and I'm sure that he'd be quite calm about it, a little disappointed like the players, but I'd say by today he's ready for another battle,
Yeah, and in terms of the team selection for this weekend, Dinny, do you see Conor making many changes?
I don't really. I mean, there were periods in the match when they all did very well. All right, we had valleys of below par and stuff, but that's going to happen in matches too. I mean, you can't expect a team. We all want a team to play for 70 minutes and not be out of the game at any period. But unfortunately, the other team has a right to get into and dominate certain periods as well. So, that's the way it is going to be next week. Obviously, he'd be very conscious of saying to the players, lads, we had a very poor start. We can't start like that. And at half time, then reminding him that we had a very poor finish. So, he'll be probing at him that way. I think that our fellas at the end of the day have basically younger legs, and I think Páirc Keeve is even bigger than Killarney. So I think the younger legs will win us through in the end of the day,
Yeah, and then what about Aidan Walsh, Dinny? He made his championship debut last weekend in difficult enough circumstances. A very young lad going into midfield against two very experienced players. I know he missed a few chances and maybe his passing was a bit off at times, but he worked very, very hard, and I think there's a lot more to come from Aidan Walsh as well.
Oh, I'd agree with you, Paul. I mean, he kicked a few wild shots, but the one thing I like about him is that when he kicks a wild shot, he doesn't hide after it. He still shows up and he's still ready to make himself available. Sometimes young fellas coming in, if they make a few mistakes, they kind of shy away from it and do a bit of hiding maybe. But Aidan didn't, and he kept looking for more ball, and he looks to me like one of the, a very good prospect for us for years to come. As I say, he looks like he's only 20 years of age or that thereabouts, and he's a leader. You can see he's a leader on the pitch, and I mean, I know, as we say, that he didn't do a few things, kick wild kicks, but certainly the pass of the match was the one that he, in the first half, where he kicked it 45 yards over the head of Mark O'Shea into Paul Kerrigan's hands, and only from a fantastic block down by Mark O'Shea, but getting back, Aidan's pass was something. It was a fantastic pass. It was one of the best passes I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, how important, Dinny, will it be on Sunday to have a strong referee? Because Padraig Hughes was in charge last weekend. He seemed quite fussy at times and didn't really allow the game to flow. It's Pat McEnany, who's been put in charge this weekend.
Yeah, well, without wishing of cursing him or anything, that McEnany, I think, is the best around in Ireland. So I'm delighted he's refereeing it. I certainly, even during the match last Sunday, I was saying it after 20 minutes, I thought he was over fussy on both sides. I mean, I felt that he blew the Kerry goalkeeper for overcarrying, which I didn't think he did. Like certainly the Gooch's last point, in fairness to him, I thought he brought it in about 3 hours before he kicked it out to the great point, and I'm not criticising for it. I'd have done the same myself, but he ignored that, and he blew the Kerry goalkeeper for the one that I certainly didn't see that he overcarried it, and he blew for a few things that, like kicking from the wrong place, a yard of a difference. So I thought he was too fussy, and the game was good, but I thought it could have been better if he just let it go a little bit more,
Yeah, no, in the wake of last weekend's draw, Dinny, a few people have raised the old question again about the character, I suppose, and the bottle of this Cork team in big games. Do you think that's an issue? Is it something you'd be concerned about?
I don't think it is, but when you don't win, people are going to say that. I mean, in 87, 88 and 89, it took us 3 years to win an All-Ireland as such. We lost, that was our third in 89 when we won it, but we had lost two previous to it. And that word battle, we were getting sick to death of it. We were getting a shudder when we heard it, because it was being all over the papers and people quoting that we lack battle. But the only way to shut up people about this really is to go out and win an All-Ireland, and they'll stop saying that word then, But it's just a fact of life that if you don't win it, they'll throw this word up in front of you,
Yeah, plenty of incentive there for Cork on Sunday as well, Dinny, but how much will they want to avoid the back door, because it can be a very tricky route? There's already so many decent teams in there as well, the likes of Armagh, Kildare, Mayo as well.
Well, I don't think Cork want to go in that route, but I think that Kerry want to go on it less. I don't think they could face it at all this year, after winning an All-Ireland last year and everything and coming through the long. I don't think it's a dread all to get it to them. I don't think our fellas would dread it, to be honest with you. I mean, certainly they don't want to do it, but if they will do it, I'd still be as confident of winning an All-Ireland if it doesn't turn out right on Sunday. But I am optimistic about Sunday with the home advantage. I suppose the one thing, if you were a Kerry man, you'd be saying we're surely going to get much more out of Donaghy in full forward, because they really didn't get anything out of him last Sunday, and Graham kept him very quiet, Graham Canty. So, if you're looking for hope as a Kerry man, which we don't be looking for, but I'd say they're going to be saying that we're going to get more out of our full forward, but they genuinely need way more out of their two centre fields, who were quite poor last Sunday, but they're obviously they're hurt as well, and they'll be trying it there. So they're far and against the story for Kerry,
Yeah, just very finally, Dinny, you say you're optimistic for Sunday. Cork should have the upper hand, hopefully, with the home advantage as well. What's your prediction?
Oh, and I think, as I say, I think Cork have the legs at this stage, and I think that I think I think we'll come out 3 or 4 points the better team than them at the end of the day,